everybody. Welcome to another episode of You've Got Red on You. I am your host, as usual, William Sterling, and with me today is Jeff C. Carter. Jeff and I go way back. It's been years and years at this point. I don't want to reflect too much on that because it'll make me sad about time passing or something. But Jeff, would you like to introduce yourself to everybody listening, watching? Words.
Sure. I'm Jesse Carter. I'm a writer living in New Mexico. Some of you might know me from my podcast, We Bleed Orange and Black, where we interview creators, discuss our favorite folklore, and share original spooky stories. Or you might know me from my collection, We Bleed Orange and Black, 31 fun-size tales for Halloween.
Yeah. So you are very in the Halloween spirit. We're gonna dig into that, but it was so nice. Yeah, you've already got the Oktoberfest.
I had to do
Amazing.
it. I had to bust it out for tonight.
I'm not positive when this is going to air, but I want it on the record that it is August and you already have Oktoberfest. Uh,
It's my brand, man.
Jelly. It's a lifestyle, right? Um, okay, let's get into this thing. I'm gonna ask you a bunch of questions about Weebob and Halloween and Stokercon as we go. But let's start with our kind of opening question. So, for anybody that's unfamiliar, if this is your first episode of You've Got Red on You, the way this goes is this is kind of like a game show thing, kind of taking a spin on the Criterion Closet, where actors and directors and those people get to go into the Criterion Closet, pull some movies that are special to them, and talk about them for a second. We're just using our guests' bookshelves. You've curated your own closet for us. So I'm going to give you three themed selections to turn around, and you will have 30 seconds on the clock to try to find a book that matches that theme for us. Some of these I think are going to be layups. Others of these I think are going to be a little trickier. But the whole trick is 30 seconds. If you cannot find it on your shelf in 30 seconds, you got to grab something else. So, are you ready to play? You've got red on you.
I'm ready.
Let's do it. All right, Jeff C. Carter in the house. We got 30 seconds on the clock. Standard starter question. I think I'm starting with this one every single time. Can you find me a book that you think does not get enough love? Ready? Go. Yeah, my watch hates me today. Okay, it's counting though. We're at 5 seconds. And he's done. The Disappearance of Tom Nero. Yes, tell us about this.
So this is by our very own TJ Price. This is a slim but idea-packed novella about the disappearance of someone, but it is a meta-textual novel. So not only is one person reading a book and reading notes from their lover, they're also finding out that the book itself is changing reality around them. It's divided into two parts. So the first half is absolutely filled with scribbles and squiggles, and it has a real like awesome homey handmade sort of zine feel. And this is sort of the canonical book. And then you read to a certain point and things get darker and weirder and stranger, and the text starts to change. And there's this repeating phrase that starts to worm its way like a virus through the text and through the minds of the readers. And then, boom, Hard Break Part Two. It's like Barbarian or Weapons. It's like divided in half. Totally awesome book. TJ is the best.
I love it. It's giving like House of Leaves in your description a little bit, and like let's screw with perception. Yeah, okay, cool. Also, haven't seen Weapons yet, but I totally get that barbarian comp.
Excellent.
Was Weapons everything you wanted it to be?
That is a longer discussion. I will say I enjoyed it immensely. It definitely gets an A minus, if not an A, but we'll chat after you see it.
Okay, okay, got it. We'll come back to this. So, other things, distorting with reality, messing with people's perceptions of it. I had the great joy and honor of hanging out with you for a weekend at Stokercon this year. And one of the highlights, if we want to call it that, of the weekend was exploring the liminal spaces beneath that weird Stanford hotel.
Yeah, I
Talk
think
me
we
through that.
all we all have. I was saying that the real friends was the black mold we inhaled during the way. Um, that place was incredible.
Yeah. So for anybody that wasn't there, there was this door right behind the bar that had no food or drinks, that led into just like this massive, like the back rooms, kind of unfinished half of the hotel, it felt like. Weird lights randomly turned on, weird, like what were the big moments for you walking through the the Death
I mean, some of
Hotel?
the big movement moments was there was the room of lamp
Yes, I forgot about that.
at the top of the hotel, which was a giant room full of lamps that was locked. You could only sort of peek in through the ruined locks. All the hardware and locks in this hotel were like chiseled away and like reattached with power drills. I got a photo of this like janitor's door in the second floor men's room that was cut in half, and it was like a piece of plywood and a door, and it was attached by all sorts of different plates and hardware, and there was just like nails and screws. It really looked like a meth lab, like the inmates were running the asylum, except it was meth heads running the meth lab.
Yeah.
There was the giant ooze that was coming down the wall, the ninth floor. There was the guillotine elevators that would just cut people in half.
Yeah.
Uh,
Saw it happen twice.
the endless flooded garages
Yep.
where I'm still to this day like hearing more stuff trickle out about someone who like found a knife as like on the ground as they were trying to like escape the flooded basement. I took the stairs down and there was just a bunch of red spray paint arrows that just said down. And I kept going down and down and down. And at a certain point, I realized that I had passed the lobby, but there was no way to get out of the stairwell. And there was just these crude red arrows pointing me down. And I was like, I'm a horror writer. I know this does not end well for me. And eventually it like spat me out like a quarter mile away from the hotel, just on the street. It was wild.
I love that place in how
Yeah.
much I hated it. If anybody wasn't there and wanted to kind of pick up the vibes of the weekend, is there some sort of a like audio journal that they could go check out somewhere?
As a matter of fact, there is. There's an
What?
audio diary on the podcast of Stokercon 2025, but I would be remiss if I did not also direct you to the Dead Languages podcast, where Plim was in effect with her microphone, and she was also conducting interviews, and she was doing it before I did. I stole her idea.
Okay, okay. So Weebob and Dead Languages both have cool kind of StokerCon recap audio diaries. I listened to the Weebob episode already. I haven't listened to the Dead Languages episode yet, but you all did a fantastic job of capturing the fun of the weekend and also the what the hell are we doing here, Enos of the weekend.
Yeah, it's so fun to sort of go beyond just short interviews or long form interviews. It's just that what I normally do. And did Zoom filter out that crack of thunder?
Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
Oh, wow. Did you hear
Ooh.
my dog like jump up?
No, did you hear mine?
No. All right, Zoom's doing the Lord's work, but I promise you there is thunder, lightning, and rain happening right now.
The perfect atmosphere to record an episode. If only we could hear it.
Add it in later.
All right. So Weebob, I want to talk a lot more about that after this next question, but I'm trying to build everything up
Nailed it. You
together
killed it,
here. So
baby.
Weebob is a very Halloween themed podcast. You have a story coming out in just a minute and a very Halloween themed anthology. So let's kind of kick off this whole Halloween themed conversation with 30 seconds on the clock. Can you find a novel other than, can you find a novel that to you encapsulates the vibes of Halloween? Ready, set, and you don't even need 0 seconds
I'm
on the clock.
sorry, but these displays are sort of intentional, and I have to show you the crown jewel of my book collection, Alfred Hitchcock's Monster Museum.
Okay.
It is this incredible anthology with stories by Bradbury, Theodore Sturgeon, Wade Wellman. Um, some of my favorite, most foundational stories come from this book. I probably read it a million times. Don't hold this against me. I'm going to open this book, and you're going to see how like brown and like weathered and moth-eaten this book is.
That is a
But I can't
well-loved
get
tome.
it is a gnarly old jaundiced tome. Um, but my favorite story in the collection is by Bradbury. Um, and the whole thing is just it's werewolves, it's blobs, it's slimes, it's vampires. It is Halloween to the hilt, and definitely like this is a cornerstone of my whole personality.
Love it.
If anything happens to this book, it will reflect in my body.
You are Cricket from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, right?
Right. Yeah, it's a Dorian Gray situation.
Um, okay, so let's spin this up then into so that's got all of your classic monsters and your blobs and your werewolves and everything you kind of think of with Halloween. I already teed this up a little bit, but there is an anthology coming out depending on when I drop this episode, right around now. Might be out, might be coming out in just a second. I don't schedule things well. Um, but you have a really cool trick-or-treater story in Twisted Tales to Tell in the Night. It's the first time I've
Thank
ever
you.
gotten the title right, first try. So yay me. What can you tell us about
Um,
your story in this anthology?
the first thing I'll say is that it's brilliantly edited by our very own William Sterling.
No, okay, no credit. So Stephanie Rose put this thing together and was talking to me about the process while she was going through it and just tagged me in to do like a last round of line edits. I am so proud that my name is on the cover, but all the glory to Stephanie. Um,
Definitely.
anyhow,
Um, my story opens the anthology. It's called All Hallows Eve, and it's about a group of kids who are out trick-or-treating. And I was talking to William about this sort of back and forth through our various track changes and notes on the documents. But this is a story about subtraction. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes and between the lines. One of the kids is in a boot and he's limping. One of the girls just got some stitches out. And there's not as many kids on the street trick-or-treating this year, but there are some old missing kid posters up instead. And it turns out that there is a very good reason why trick-or-treating was almost canceled. And there's an even better reason why it was so important to the town that these kids went out to trick-or-treat. That's all I'll say. It's a very short story. It's got a big twist, but it's one of my favorite stories. I'm so glad it's out there.
Yeah, it felt like the perfect way to kick off the anthology. So I'm glad everything is coming together, and I hope everybody goes and checks it out. Um, Other pumpkin spiced offerings from you. We mentioned Wee Bob, but let's really dig into it for a second. So, what's your podcast?
So, like so many of us, I have a podcast where I interview horror writers, but my sort of broader purpose is to talk to creators. So I'll talk to voiceover actors, I'll talk to directors, visual artists, folklorists. Sometimes, if I'm lucky, I'll get to talk to someone who's organizing some kind of folk festival. Um, I'm really interested in folklore and customs and all the things around Halloween. For me, my love of Halloween has brought me deeper into world history and culture, other harvest festivals, other Days of the Dead, the way people relate to their ancestors. There's just so many versions of Halloween around the world and so many cool festivals. And I think as the information age rots in front of our eyes, we find ourselves groping for a deeper understanding of the world that is rooted in myth and lore and the wheel of the year and the cycle of the seasons. Um, so it's very interesting to see this folklore revival. And to me, that's a very Halloween kind of vibe.
Yeah. And I love listening to the show because there's so much variety between the episodes, right? Like, I think one of the staples we can reference here, Talking Scared. You turn
Oh
on
yeah.
Talking Scared, and Neil is going to do this like deep dive dissection of an author and their work of the day, and like it's really good. You kind of know what you're getting every time you turn it on, and it's great for that. Weebob also has those episodes, but you do all sorts of other stuff too. Like you're talking about bringing in different styles of creators and having different styles of episodes, and it really feels like this kind of grab bag of like, hey, there's a new Weebob episode. I have no idea what this is going to be, but it's going to be fun. Clink. So yeah, I appreciate you bringing it into the world for us all.
Thank you. Your interviews are some of my favorite. It's a great opportunity to grab like other audio samples. We'll talk about urban legends or we'll talk about our favorite movies or shows, and I can sort of weave those sound bites in. But also with trick or treating, it's always a grab bag, and you don't know what you can get. And I like to provide that variety, and I kind of need it, like for my scattershot brain to sort of chase my interest, because they're all going to be Halloween adjacent. They're going to be horror adjacent, but sometimes we'll do full audio productions of original scary stories. Sometimes we'll hang out and eat candy and just talk about spooky nerd shit. Um, you never know what you're going to get, but I promise you, there's something in there for everybody.
Yeah. All
Coming
right,
up
let's
on
hit.
coming up on 3 years. Well,
Ooh, congratulations. Big, what anniversary is that? What's a 3-year anniversary?
cardboard, I think.
The cardboard anniversary. We'll get a big cardboard cutout of your favorite I don't know, what would that be? Pumpkinhead? Trying to think of Halloween themed. Michael Myers is like kind of straightforward.
I have so many other pumpkins off screen, but
Of course you do.
I really do. Here, let's see.
Turn around. Okay, so which one's your favorite then?
Oh,
Pick a favorite child.
um, this one was a gift from a friend, Chad Pfeiffer of the Strange Stories podcast. I helped him move, and he didn't want to bring this with him, so I cleaned up this bad boy.
I like him. Does he have a name?
Doesn't have a name. This guy is a weird little mutant, paper mache. Probably my most recent This guy's a hand painted pottery pumpkin. I think the blue is a nice contrast to all
Yeah,
the orange.
yeah. It's got kind of like a neon vibe about it.
Yeah. And then who could be mad at a little Halloweeny Domokun? All right, but this is a
On
different kind
brand.
of show and tell. Let's talk books.
All right, yeah, we got one last book to get into. So, um, I'm not even gonna bother with the watch this time. Like I know you're gonna hit it. So the last question I had for you was, can you find us a book that was very different from what you expected when you read the back cover copy? I think we're all kind of guilty of this, right? We read the synopsis, we read the back cover copy, and we're kind of like, okay, I know where this book's gonna go, and most books do it exquisitely well. But what's one book that you picked up and you were about halfway through, and it was just like, this is going all over the like, I don't, I'm in for the ride now.
That is a
Ready?
great question. Thank you for not starting the timer because I might blow it.
Wait,
In, in
I
the
might
spirit of
actually get somebody
gamesmanship,
this time. Hold
do it.
on. Come on, Watch,
Fired
get with
up.
me. All right, 30 seconds on the clock. Ready, set, go. In a first for this show, the watch becomes relevant. He's gone completely off screen. Did he leave?
I'm completely
15
off
seconds.
screen.
There he is.
Fantastic.
All right, something's in his hand. Seven, six, five, four, three, two, one. And what's he got? Three books. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm
Technic,
already so
tech,
happy. And a
technically
fourth.
four. Um, I just want to give a shout out to I Can Fix Her by Ray Wilde. A fantastic novelette, and good luck trying to figure out where this one is going. It
Okay.
is really trippy and experimental. Absolutely loved it. One of my favorite reads of this year. Um, When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. Uh,
Nah.
you can, stick some money in the back of the book and make yourself a bet if you can see where this one's going, because I promise you it is Looney Tunes going to a different planet. I don't think that's a spoiler, but nothing about the back copy or the subgenre or the cover or the title is going to tell you where this one is going. I gotta say, I've got the advanced reader copy of Nestlings, his
Yes.
last book, which was my favorite book of last year, or 2 years ago. That one also has some sick moves. Oh,
That creepy hotel.
Only Good Indians um, had a great twist. Stay on the Line by McLeod Chapman, also a mind fuck of a book. Um, yeah, my favorite books definitely will zag on. I love to be surprised. It's so rare when it happens, and it's such a gift. And I think that the more you write and the more you review books, a lot of times when I'm covering authors and books for the show, I'm kind of reading with my head instead of my heart. I'm not really feeling my way through the book. I'm sort of, oh, what would sound smart? What's a question I could cobble together? Um, so unfortunately, I'm thinking a lot about structure and character journey and things like that. So it's rare that a story or a book will sneak up on me. But all these ones I mentioned absolutely just cold cock me, blindsided, fantastic.
And I don't know Ray yet. I'm familiar with Ray. I don't know Ray yet, though. But everybody else that you mentioned, like amazing people, love them to death. So the fact that they're such good people and they're master artists, like, yes,
Yes, I
take the
I,
book.
I would include Ray in that group.
I get that impression. Um, but yeah. All right. So that, hey, knocking everything around over here. Um, we've got thunder strikes, we've got dogs going nuts, and we've got me trying to knock over everything back here in my
That's the
basement
chaos you
door.
want.
Yeah, if a bunch of glass bottles start falling on me, just laugh. Um, but anyhow, that's the end of this episode. So let's conclude with just a couple of reminders. We talked about a bunch of your stuff as we went, but just a few more things. One more chance to get the plugs in.
Sure. As always, you can check out my podcast, We Bleed Orange and Black. It is everywhere. You can get podcasts. It's on all services and it's now on YouTube. You can find me in all my socials and all my books. If you go just to Linktree, it's Jeff C. Carter, one stop shop. And I guess you can find me on You've Got Red on You.
Woo. And I have figured out how to include links to all of the books on a bookshop.org thingamajigger. So all the links to all these books, including Jeff's works, will be in the comments below. So look for that. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us. This is so fun. It's a treat every time I get to hang out with you. And we'll see you next time, everybody listening in. Now get back to reading.
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!